Rumors of betrayal, sexual harassment allegations, and the pressure of international fame have all tried to test Cindy Crawford and Rande Gerber's marriage. Still, it endures, albeit in a curious kind of way. During the early stages of their marriage, Rande Gerber was building his business empire and allegedly being less than faithful to his new bride. An insider told Closer Weekly, "He's a big flirt, especially when he was more involved with his nightclub business. Women were hitting on him all the time." One woman, Harmony Kubiak, exposed Gerber and his alleged cheating ways in a 2004 interview with the National Enquirer. Kubiak, a former employee at Gerber's Whiskey Blue Bar, said the alleged incident occurred in 2000, just 2 years after Gerber married Cindy Crawford. During a trip to New Orleans, Gerber, Kubiak, and friends were reportedly riding in a stretch limo on their way to a strip club when things supposedly got heated. Kubiak said in the interview, "Rande suggested I sit on his lap. We were all pretty drunk by then." After allegedly kissing, she claimed Gerber invited her to his hotel room, where she eventually passed out. When she woke up, she claimed Gerber was wearing nothing but a towel and was undressing her. She told the publication, "That's when things came to a screeching halt. I freaked out and told him I had to leave." This wouldn't be the last time one of Gerber's employees would accuse him of acting inappropriately. Two women who previously worked for Rande Gerber's Moonstone Lounge in San Diego, California, filed a lawsuit against him and his company in 2009, claiming they were fired after rejecting his and other staff members' sexual advances. Gerber called the allegations a lie, and his rep issued a statement through TMZ that said, in part, "Mr. Gerber will not settle this extortion case even for a single dollar, and will take all actions necessary to clear his name, including filing a $10 million lawsuit for malicious prosecution once these allegations are proven false." Gerber's good friend, actor George Clooney, even went to bat for him. Not only did Clooney agree to take a lie detector test alongside Gerber to prove the incidents never happened, but the actor also released a statement that said, "I was with Rande the entire night, as were a lot of people. They will all say the same thing that I'm saying. This event never happened. Period." Rande Gerber and Cindy Crawford live very hectic lives, and they also have conflicting schedules at times. However, even when they were in the midst of their careers and their children were tiny tots, the couple always made time for one another. She told People, "We prioritize that. All throughout our marriage, we have made time to just be together, whether it's a walk on the beach or a weekend away." How romantic, no? Not so fast. After sharing that they respect each other's opinion when they chat about different topics, Crawford also made a startling admission, saying, "Even when we don't agree, when he doesn't agree with me, I am fascinated. I want to know why, because I respect him enough to hear him out, and he does the same for me." Fascinated by their disagreements? That's an interesting way to describe arguments. Still, Crawford said in an interview that they have a deep friendship.
"We really respect each other, and we don't fight dirty."
After getting married in 1998, Rande Gerber moved into Cindy Crawford's home, and since it technically wasn't his humble abode, he wasn't comfortable giving his input on its style and decor. Throughout the years, they have gone on to purchase numerous homes together, including their Malibu, California estate and a Beverly Hills property that was purchased in 2017. Their joint real estate purchases meant Gerber was more open to sharing his likes and dislikes, and it caused some issues. Crawford told People, "I definitely came from a more traditional aesthetic, and he came from more of this, contemporary thing. Then when we really had to merge, it was definitely, we didn't agree on everything." At the time of that interview, Crawford announced that they were still having problems agreeing on their home style, saying, "I've learned when to give in, and I think he's learned to give in. We push each other, so I think we would both agree that our combined projects are more layered and interesting because they have to make room for both of our aesthetics." Even though Cindy Crawford stressed how important it was for her and Rande Gerber to be friends before lovers, we find it a bit odd that they don't always act like a couple in love, or like friends for that matter. During a 2010 interview with Mirror, Crawford said, "We're not people who talk 20 times a day, but I need to check in more than Rande does. I'm the woman, the more emotional one." That's fine and all, but she also added, "He'd be happy to never talk about the relationship again. Rande's philosophy is, if everything's good, why talk about it? And if it's bad, why talk about it?" Though their lack of communication is mind-boggling to us, it seems to work for them. Even after almost 3 decades together, Cindy Crawford and Rande Gerber have defied the odds and remained a couple. But like all couples, they've faced their fair share of issues, and they've turned to their foundation as friends as the key way to combat those issues. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live, Crawford detailed just how she and her husband tap into their early relationship bond to navigate conflict and move forward together.
Of course, you need the other stuff. That's the fun, chemistry and all that. But if that wasn't there, would you be friends with this person?
And when it comes to arguments, Crawford says that they keep things clean.
You gotta fight nice.
Yes.
Don't say things you can't take back.
Crawford also shared that she and Gerber have instilled these notions in their children, advising them to do the same in their own relationships. It looks like those values have paid off, as the power couple celebrated their 27th anniversary in 2025. Crawford posted a sweet tribute to her partner with a series of pictures of the two on the beach, writing, "I feel blessed to have you by my side for all of the ups and downs life brings. Hopefully, we're just getting started." Rumors about Crawford and her husband's marital struggles have long plagued their relationship, but many believed their marriage was really on its last leg after Star magazine caught up with Lil Riddle, the drummer for band Terraplane Sun, who claimed a drunken Crawford was acting a little too flirty at one of the band's shows. He alleged to the outlet, "She certainly wasn't acting like a married woman, but like a single 21-year-old party girl." Riddle said Crawford openly flirted with the band's guitarist, Johnny Zambetti, and allegedly shouted, quote, "My marriage is over," while hubby Gerber looked on from afar completely unfazed.
Yeah?
A rep for Crawford denied the allegations, but that didn't stop even more rumors from starting. In honor of their 20th wedding anniversary in 2018, Crawford gushed about her husband on Instagram, writing, "I couldn't have chosen a better man to do this thing called life with. I love you."
When I met Rande, I was ready for Rande because we started off as friends.
The post should have silenced the haters, but In Touch Weekly really soured the couple's celebration. An insider told the gossip site there had been, quote, "constant drama in their household for years," with their daughter Kaya traveling the world on modeling assignments and their son Presley shacking up in the family's guest house. The empty nesters were reportedly drifting further and further apart. The source added, "Put it this way, they don't keep tabs on each other anymore. Sometimes it seems like they're living separate lives. We're not sure if they're just comfortable with a little distance, but from the outside that seems pretty strange." Crawford isn't the only one in the household who has sashayed down a catwalk or two. Rande also worked as a model, so it's no surprise that the gorgeous couple's equally beautiful children, Kaya and Presley, were both eyeing careers in the modeling industry. But it was their kiddos' model ambitions that reportedly caused strife between Cindy and her hubby, in particular their son's desire to become a frontrunner in the industry, a source told Star magazine. Randy's concerned about Presley being dragged into the toxic world of the catwalk, especially when he's still in the process of finding himself and figuring out what he wants to do in life. Ironically enough, Papa Rande allegedly had much less of a problem with their daughter pursuing modeling, which is rather strange if you ask us. And it's still a little weird for him sometimes too.
She walks in right by us, with the legs up to here. And when, you see people looking at her, I said, "That's my 16-year-old daughter."
As for Cindy, she was supposedly all for guiding both of her children through the industry with her first-hand knowledge and expertise, regardless of her spouse's feelings on the subject. The insider claimed, "At this point, I'm worried this is something they can't talk through and work out between themselves." Not only is Gerber good friends with George Clooney, but the buddies became business partners in 2013 when they launched tequila brand Casamigos, according to Business Insider.
Grab a glass, amigo.
Our tequila is your tequila.
And when they're not selling their tequila, they're drinking it, as Crawford told Conan O'Brien.
And it's got a little out of hand at some point, I understand?
They have been known to go out and have a few tequilas, yes.
Crawford recalled staying home on a Sunday night and letting her kids sleep in her bed while Gerber and Clooney hit the town, then waking up in the middle of the night to make sure Gerber had made it home safe and finding a fully clothed man face down in her guest bedroom, whom she presumed to be her husband.
So I go over, I get on the bed, and I'm like, "Hey, babe." And he looks, and it wasn't Rande. It was George.
Of course, the moment wasn't that scandalous, since the three are good friends, but considering it was the middle of the night, it could have been worse.
And we just all laughed, and we thought, how funny it would have been if the light wouldn't have been on.
Right.
Because I would have just gotten in bed.
Maybe Crawford wasn't too concerned over the mix-up, but to us, it sounds like she's living in the real-life version of Animal House, which might not be so cool in your regular life. Crawford and Gerber first met during her agent's wedding weekend.
I remember the first night I met him, which we met the night before a mutual friend's wedding. And then the next night we were at the wedding, and then we had fun.
But there was just one problem. Neither was available at the time. Crawford told Harper's Bazaar, "When I met him, I was still with Richard Gere, and he didn't want to go to the wedding with me. Rande also had a girlfriend at the time, so he wasn't looking to meet anyone either, and that's the best time to meet someone because that's when you're truly yourselves." Instead of diving into a relationship, they started off as friends, and once Crawford's marriage went up in smoke and Gerber found himself single again, they decided to give love a shot. During an episode of Oprah's Masterclass, Crawford expressed just how beneficial it was that they didn't start out on a romantic note right away, saying,
It keeps the relationship elevated to there's always a certain level of respect.
She also said they'll, quote, always be friends no matter what. Some observers felt like that was a weird thing for a married woman to say, almost as if she's anticipating their marriage coming to an end, but maybe people are just reading too much into it. While Gerber has claimed that he loves Crawford's all-natural glow, the veteran supermodel revealed a weird nugget of information about Gerber's preference during a beauty tutorial for Vogue. As she walked fans through her makeup regimen, Crawford announced,
"My husband hates makeup, so this is already too much makeup for him, but I do explain to him that women do makeup for other women, not men."
Okay, let's pump the brakes and recap. Makeup goes hand in hand with practically every photo shoot and runway show Crawford books. She basically gets dolled up for a living. So isn't it super odd that her husband hates the one thing Crawford wears day in and day out for the sake of her career? But hey, as long as it works for them, that's the most important thing.